And right on time, the sirens are flying past the house as there's a thunderstorm while it's sunny outside. It's just one of those days over here. But what's up, everybody? There they go. Every week, somebody has to go and start dying when I go live. But how's it going? I think that was pretty fun, honestly. That was a pretty fun Xfinity race. I got everything pulled up right here to let you know about the 2023 Cabo Wabo 250. I swear that sounds like a little baby talking. Cabo Wabo. But the 2023 Cabo Wabo 250 at the Michigan International Speedway is done. And before we get into too much with the race itself, I'll let you know playoff-wise, because it just popped up on screen, that with 5 races left in the Xfinity regular season, Josh Berry is plus 126, Hemrick plus 67, plus 40 for Riley Herbst, and Sheldon Creed on the cut line, plus 18 over Parker Kligerman. Brandon Jones minus 45, then Moffitt minus 86, and Kaz Grala minus 145. So that's what you got right there with the playoffs. As for the race itself, it was 125 laps, which was 250 miles. It had 7 cautions, 6 leaders with 7 lead changes, and went over a span of 2 hours and 3 seconds. Almost 2 hours flat for that race. So we got that there. Looking at the rest of the running order, finishing order, whatever you may be, John Hunter Nemechek scores the win, stops his pretty rough backslide of the last couple of weeks, wins it by 1.5 seconds over Josh Berry. Then Brandon Jones in third, probably a much needed good finish for Brandon Jones as he struggled mightily this year. From there, you got Ty Gibbs in fourth, Sam Mayer in fifth, sixth, Riley Herbst, seventh, Ross Chastain, Parker Kligerman eighth, ninth, Parker Retzlaff, and then Jeb Burton gets a top 10. After that, you got Austin Hill in 11th, 12th is Sheldon Creed, 13th, Ryan Sieg, then 14th, Justin Allgaier, 15th, Daniel Hemrick, Cole Custer in 16th, 17th, Brett Moffitt, Anthony Alfredo in 18th, 19th, Kyle Sieg, and the final car on the lead lap after having issues on the last lap of the race would be Chandler Smith. If I'm looking over here, it's because I got the race on just in case anything happens. But the top 20 were on the lead lap. Kaz Grala, 21st, 1 lap down. The rest of these guys, till I say otherwise, are a lap down. 22nd place, Josh Williams. 23rd place, Ryan Ellis. Jeffrey Earnhardt in 24th. 25th, Sage Karam. 26th, Jeremy Clements. 27th, Joe Graff Jr. Dawson Cram, 28th. Then Brennan Poole, 29th, minus 2 laps. Garrett Smithley in 30th, then 31st, Stephen Parsons. Carson Hocevar, after having some rough luck early on, which we'll talk about in a moment with that JGR beef, in 32nd, 2 laps down. 33rd, Blaine Perkins, minus 2. Then Patrick Emmerling, 5 laps down, last car on track. The last 4 finishers were out of this race, and they include 35th place Kyle Weatherman, 36th place Connor Mosack, then Mason Maggio in 37th, and Sammy Smith, 38th, and last on the day. By the way, be sure to keep clicking that like button, and let's get these results put up on screen up here, as well as the streaming schedule for the rest of the time. And if you don't recognize the hat, which I think would be really cool, little tidbit, this was the failed Canadian Motor Speedway. Failed, I believe, a little under a mile-long track that was supposed to be built up in Canada, just north of the U.S. border, which was run by Jeff Gordon at one point. So pretty cool tidbit if you don't know what that is. I got a video on it too. But looking at what you guys thinking here, we got beef. Yep, lots of beef. Let's see, Dylan. Anyone remember the Xfinity race where they used restrictor plates? Yeah, I remember that. The famous failed track, all that good stuff. Well, let's look at the finishing order of this race. Or not finishing order, the rest of the information, what happened in this race. I'm seeing that there's a replay right now of what happened to Chandler Smith, and it looks like he and Austin Hill got together with possibly Hill putting him in the wall. at least off of 4. And then they get back in the corner, and he in turn 1, and the 16 has a flat. So there is that. And they're disagreeing about it on pit road, at least in the I think it's a replay. Luckily, nobody gets punched into the next week, though, unlike what happened last year when somebody pissed off Austin Hill. And they're interviewing him right now. But let's get into this race, see what we, what we watched. Well, Josh Berry started on the pole, and I want to give a shout out to Michigan for the huge crowd for an Xfinity Series race. That was a really good crowd for Xfinity, so good on them. The action started off early on lap 5. Kaz Grala would spin off turn 4, bringing out the first caution, and boy, were we in for something after that. Lap 9 comes around. We have a restart. Allgaier goes and takes the lead at that point. Allgaier might have the best or one of the best cars, but only 2 laps later, lap 11, we get a big wreck. John Hunter Nemechek gets into the back of Ty Gibbs. I know people wanted to blame Ty Gibbs for it, or Sammy Smith. Nemechek, after the race, though, in his winning interview, took the credit in the negative sense. Took the credit for making the mistake on that one. You know what? He owned up to it. Good on him. And I get why Gibbs and Sammy Smith were pretty mad. Sammy Smith a little more composed about it. But I understand why they were mad. That was way too early in the race to race that aggressively. And I think that, it ruined a few races, one of which was Carson Hocevar. Hocevar early on in this race, granted, not too many green flag laps to actually race in. But early on in this race, Carson Hocevar was up there fighting amongst the guys in the top 5 and definitely top 10, and does not get the finish really that he deserves. I think that he would have had a really nice, fast car, but it, is what it is, unfortunately. Gibbs and Nemechek spun, didn't have too many issues, and you see it in the finishing order here. Nemechek winning and Ty Gibbs coming home in the 4th spot. Wasn't like it ruined their day by any means. But it did for Hocevar, Sammy Smith, and then Mason Maggio was in initial start of that whole deal. But on lap 16, they have a more organized restart, but again, only 4 laps later, Maggio has a right front flat into the wall, out of the race. Caution number 3 after 20 laps. Get another restart. Allgaier gets the lead. He wins the stage over Berry, Custer, Chandler Smith, and Herbst, the top 5. And then Brandon Jones in 6th. 7th was Austin Hill in the stage. Ryan Sieg 8th. 9th, Sam Mayer, and Anthony Alfredo with a 10th place run in stage 1. So 4 cautions in the first stage of the race. We had 4 cautions here total last year for the Xfinity race. So a big uptick in yellow flag conditions in this one. But, man, wild start. You have Creed and Williams 1-2 off the pits. I believe, I want to say Gibbs either stayed. I think he stayed out. He had the lead starting out stage 2. And Connor Mosak would crash early on in stage 2, bringing out the 5th caution. And that was off the front bumper of Joe Graff. Shocker. From there on lap 42, you have the restart. Gibbs gets ahead of Herbst this time. Nemechek charges up. The top 8 or 9 at the end of the stage were all under a blanket. It was great racing to watch because you saw people have to use different lines and different tactics to get by different people, slide jobs, ripping the top a little bit more. Stuff that I really appreciate and like about Michigan that has been missing since the repave, and it's really starting to come into its own. Granted, 11 years later, but still coming into its own. I think the best of Michigan is still yet to come when it comes to this surface, but good racing overall. John Hunter Nemechek would get past Ty Gibbs and win the stage over Allgaier, Gibbs, Herbst, and Austin Hill, the top 5. Then Custer, Berry, Mayer, Brandon Jones, and Brett Moffitt, the top 10. Rasheem Hall, Stewart, thank you for the 250. Jeffrey Earnhardt in the 8 car for JRM. I know Junior has offered rides to him before, but he's denied. But, if he's willing to take it, I'd like to see what Jeffrey could do. The brief time he was with Joe Gibbs Racing, Jeffrey Earnhardt, I won't say that he showed out per se, but he showed flashes. And I think that he is a capable driver who can really, really race well when given an opportunity. I hope he gets that opportunity. I would like to see what he could do in the 8 car, honestly. I think it would be really fun to see what he could do in the 8 car. Now, back to the race. That 6th caution was the second to last caution. 6th caution was for Stage 2's end. So the final stage starts out. You have Allgaier, as they're pitting right after Stage 2, gets spun off the bumper of Ty Gibbs. That one was on Ty. Say what you want about the first one. I still think that was more on Nemechek. He took ownership of it. That was on Ty. Ty was too close and hit him. Now, granted, I will say that you can say that, I guess, well, he slowed up, but everyone slowed up and everyone was really close. Why was it just Ty Gibbs and Justin Allgaier on that one? So, call it for what it is on that one. But lap 66 on the restart, right after Justin Allgaier says that it's just going to make it so much sweeter to blow the doors off of him, you have the restart on lap 66 where Nemechek leads over Hill and Herbst, who are fighting for second. At this point, it's Nemechek's race to lose just because the clean air definitely was king, superior, whatever adjective you want to use for how much of an advantage it gave you, you can use. But pretty clean for the most part through that run until they get to green flag pit stops, starting with 29 to go. There's 2 major issues we see from this that really affected the finish of this race. First off, the 21 of Austin Hill has transmission issues. He's stuck in 4th gear, which is going to make it incredibly hard to get back up to speed in a reasonable amount of time. He lost a ton of positions and obviously could never really recover from that with so little of the race remaining. And then Allgaier has a pass-through penalty because his crew member jumped over the wall too soon. Listen, people have said, yeah, Allgaier choked or they choked or whatever. That was not on the driver. Driver did everything he had to do today. The team did not. I mean, actually, if you want to get nitpicky about it, his team jumped over the wall too soon when he got spun out too, if you watch the replay. So this is something that I think the crew chief needs to be on top of in replay. Yes, it was a weird situation on that first one, but obviously that second one, it cost him big time. And I don't blame him for being upset. And I get, the guy on the pit crew, I believe it was the Jackman, I get him feeling upset at himself and pissed for what happened. But you got to learn. You got to know. I mean, granted, you don't get many green flag pit stops, but Michigan is a place that is normal for the Xfinity Series to get green flag pit stops. I remember when I was there in 2021, the race ended with green flag pit stops at the end of it. So I know it sucks for Allgaier fans. I will say, though, at least it happened now and not 5 weeks in when the playoffs start. But that wouldn't be the end of it. With 13 to go, Patrick Emmerling would get into the wall, bringing out the 7th and final yellow flag. And the funniest part of that whole caution is when they're showing him on pit road and you just see a big banana peel pit sign. The first thing it reminded me of was Brian from Family Guy doing the peanut butter jelly time song. I know, and I saw all y'all guys in the chat were going nuts with it. And, banana time. Spam a banana peels in the chat if you could. Let me see. Let's see if I can find one. Here you go. Spam bananas. Let's have some fun with it. Maybe we can make that a joke. This week on the NWP on Eric's channel, especially since I'm pretty sure he won't be seeing this since he's at the track right now, I want everybody to spam banana peels in the chat to start the podcast and give no context whatsoever to it. And I'll remind you all to do it tomorrow too. I'll remind the other 2 hosts that Danny and Darian to help out with it. Let's go nuts with it and just see what his reaction is. But yeah, we got the banana time in the pits. And on top of that, Custer had a vibration that thought he might have had a loose wheel. I think he probably did. He was the only real top guy that actually pitted. I don't know, Spencer. He might not know. We'll find out. Don't key him off on it. But Custer was the only one to pit, and this will bring us to 8 to go. We had our final restart of the day. Before I get to that, thank you, Sly Supersonic, for the $7.94 super chat. Interesting. KBM gets their 100th win in trucks, and JGR gets their 200th win in Xfinity. All we need is HMS to get their 300th Cup win, and we've got the hat trick. Is HMS at 299 right now? Wait, somebody fact check me on this. Are they? Is that really where they're at? Because that would be fitting. And I picked Kyle Larson for this weekend. Do they really have 290? They have 297 wins in Cup. So they wouldn't get to 300 anytime soon, but we could get it this year. Very easily could. They're at 297. So would be a very interesting way for this season to go, and would be pretty cool to see history being made in all three series on the 75th season anniversary, like the 75th anniversary season of NASCAR. So good stuff, and good bringing that up, Sly Supersonic. And oh baby for 5. It could only have been more funny if Banana Split started. Let's see. We got guesses for Chase Elliott. Yeah, how about this? We do a poll while we go over the last little bit of it. Which HMS driver gets win 300? Because I think before the season, when I asked this question, most people were saying like Larson or Elliott, but now I would think a lot of people might be saying William Byron, just because he has been probably the best finishing one this year when it comes to Hendrick Motorsports. So let's put that poll up in the chat. Larson, Elliott, Byron, or Bowman. There you go. And let's get to this final restart and the final laps of the race, and then kind of preview for tomorrow. By the way, thank you, Billy88 Joe, for the 5. Does Ben Bayshore deserve a second chance in Cup? His tenure with Busch was rough, but has looked strong with John Hunter Nemechek. Yeah, and maybe we'll talk about this in a bit. 42 might be open with Toyota. That's a Toyota guy. And, well, Nemechek was already rumored to be in the 42. I think that's only going to be, those rumors are only going to fly more now, especially with Martin Truex Jr. saying he's coming back today. I'm almost sure at this point that the 42 belongs to John Hunter. But let's get to this final restart of the race. Then we can talk even more about that. With 8 to go, you have the restart. With the choose, you have John Hunter Nemechek choosing the top. Josh Berry chooses right behind him. On the bottom, you have Ty Gibbs, Riley Herbst. Bottom doesn't really go. Those top two on the top side break away. And Berry closed. He was there, but just John Hunter Nemechek, I think, had a better car, had the better air. And attaboy, again, to Brandon Jones. We've been ripping on Brandon Jones all year, and don't get me wrong, this isn't a hang the banner, he finished third kind of thing. But Brandon Jones being up there is something that's needed to be seen all year long. And he finally got up there and did it. And I think that is, it's some improvement. He was racing with Barry, could have gotten a second place finish. But some improvement, I guess, is better than none. So I'm not going to say it's great. He should still be performing better than this. He should have a win or so now. But at least he's starting to improve a little bit. But ahead of them, again, they were no chance, no shot for them against John Hunter Nemechek. He pulls away, gets the win, burns down the house, and that's all she wrote. That is the story of the 2023 Cabo Wabo 250. By the way, click that like button, subscribe if you're new. We're almost at 65K, and this is, I believe, upload, if you include all shorts, videos, and live streams, I believe this is upload 1,000 for me. So, cool stuff. I was planning for it to be tomorrow, but then, stuff. And looking at the poll right now, we'll end it after about 2 minutes here. And William Byron is the one that you guys think will win number 300 for Hendrick Motorsports at 36%, 32% to Kyle Larson, 18% to Chase Elliott, and 11% of you say Alex Bowman will come up out of nowhere and win 300. Hey, he's Got him out of nowhere to win races before. Tyler McGonigal, thank you for the 5. Byron gets win 300 for HMS at Phoenix, winning the championship. That's my prediction. I still think he gets 2 more wins, having 6 total this season. He could, but I wouldn't be surprised if Hendrick gets a couple wins before then, or if he even gets a couple wins before then. HMS has some good tracks coming up, and you got 2 super speedways too. So there is a good chance at, I'd say there's a good chance at the 5, 9, or 24 getting that win at some point. I don't know about the 48. I think they're just out to lunch this year. They got off with the injury. Bowman got off with the injury. Team did too. I don't think it's gonna happen with Bowman. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. And Cal, thank you for the 5. Good to see a solid run from Brandon Jones. Now, if we could just not see that awful Menards commercial he and Junior did, we'd be set. I do think it's funny where it's like, let's get some wins for Menards. I'm like, probably not. It's like that scene in SpongeBob where the guy comes out and gets his license. He's like, I just got my license. I'm gonna get mine too. I doubt it. That's how I am right now with Brandon Jones getting a win. And Spencer brings up a good point. In a way, John Hunter Nemechek had a spin and win. Post that one up top right now while I see it. It is true. It is true. Hey, I doubt it. Yeah. But no, I think at this point, John Hunter Nemechek has proven he should get another shot at Cup. And I think that with the 42 probably being opened, which again, stupid situation overall. I think that he's probably going to get that chance in the 42, and I think he'll be better than last time. I don't know what to expect from Legacy with them switching to Toyota now, because last year Petty GMS, whatever we call it something different every couple years. That 43 was fast. They were fast at just about every intermediate. They won the Southern 500 with Eric Jones. And this year, they're nowhere to be found. It's like this team just comes and goes. And there's so many times where the 43 in the past, I'll be like, well, AJ Allmendinger's doing good in there, and he's gone. Hey, look, Eric Almirola, and he's gone. Hey, look, Bubba, no, and he's gone. Like, I don't know what to expect from them at this point. So, I mean, man, if they're just competent next year, it's a huge improvement. Alessandro says, Jarrett, I like your Prince shirt. Can you sing Purple Rain? I can, just not well, and I'm not going to. I don't want to hurt people's ears. My voice is already sore enough, so. But yes, I love Prince. Prince is awesome. And just like me, he was a Vikings fan. Well, I still am. He was. But yeah, I love Prince. If y'all haven't watched Purple Rain, good movie. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, no Iceberg karaoke. No Iceberg karaoke. As for tomorrow, I think that we're gonna see if we see a race. Because let me check what the forecast at the moment is from AccuWeather, which is about 24. I think we're a little under 24, maybe 22 hours out from when the race is supposed to start. So let's see what we got on the hourly forecast for tomorrow. And I'll just go from about noon on till 7, and we'll roll from there. If these damn pop-ups can't keep coming up. Hate pop-up websites. Let's see what we got here. Noon, 71, mostly cloudy, 47% chance. Then thunderstorms at 1 with a 55% chance. Going up to 61% at 2 tomorrow. 3, cloudy, 50% chance. 4, thunderstorms, 60% chance. 5, cloudy, 40% chance. 6, 34%. 7, 39%. And 8, 49%. So we're hovering around that 40 to 60% chance of thunderstorms. Are probably going to either be scattered or, I mean, that cell that was supposed to be threatening today looked very slow. Let's see. When does sunset happen tomorrow? Because I believe they'll race till right up against it and then go from there. Sunset, it says, is 8:50. So, make of it what you will. We might be racing to halfway tomorrow. We might not be racing tomorrow, unfortunately. And Jonathan in the chat is just right. I think you're completely right. Monday does not look much better either. I just made a video about a Tuesday Michigan race, and there is a granted I think a smaller chance, but there's still a chance we may see a Tuesday Michigan race again, which is freaking crazy, man. Jimmy Leos, thank you for being a member for 4 months. Hi, I think that the race will be on Tuesday. Fitting you said that. I see everybody talking about vortex theory in there. And then Tyler McGonigal, thank you for the 2. Is this NASCAR's worst season for rain, SRX included? SRX definitely, though. I mean, if you look at the ratings, not like many people noticed. NASCAR-wise, let me look at what we got here. So, that's the Xfinity race. Where's the Cup one? NASCAR, here we go. So, NASCAR-wise, we were honestly pretty good until after Talladega. Dover, we had a rain out till Monday. We had a Monday race for the 600. Still not too bad that year. We had the delays in Gateway, which was insane to be around in person. We had the 8 hours of Gateway. Nashville moved a little bit because of weather. Chicago, frickin' monsoon after a drought. Again, I'd been up in Illinois for about a week at that point. I am not joking, and they were not joking when they said the place was in a drought. And then NASCAR came to town, and we had like a frickin' hurricane. Atlanta, rain shortened. New Hampshire, Monday rain out. Nothing in Pocono, nothing with Richmond. And Michigan, probably going to have rain. Now, granted, Michigan's also somewhere we normally have rain. My first race I ever went to was the 2006 3M Performance 400, the Father's Day Michigan race in 2006. People remember that probably for Dale Jr.'s Ralph Earnhardt car and Casey Kane's Click car. The whole race was between Kane, Earnhardt, and Gordon. Those 3 were the best 3 all day. But that was a rain-shortened race. I talked about the Tuesday race. You know, people forget when Junior won in 08, it rained right after the finish. Right, they got off the air, and it started raining. It rained. Honest to God, I can't remember a season where rain hasn't affected Michigan. Because Junior's when he broke the... I remember being a Junior's when he broke the streak at. Yeah, there was a 2-hour rain delay before. There's been rain just about every year at Michigan. Never fails. So yeah, I mean, it's looking rough for tomorrow. Whenever we race, we're going to be live after it. Looking forward to Indianapolis. Let's see if we got rain in the forecast for that one in the extended view. So far, so good, but that's what we thought about Michigan too. Jimmy Leos, thank you for the 5. This is from the Weather Channel. Periods of rain, high around 70. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain, 70%. Rainfall around half an inch. Wonderful. Wonderful. Wasn't last year rain-free? No, it rained at the start and was postponed at the start. Again, it's not every year, but it's just about at this point. And Jimmy, thank you for another 5. Also, what'd you think of the SRX race from Thursday night? Listen, I wish more people were watching SRX because the racing this year has probably been the best racing the SRX has ever had. Yes, it's tough to pass. These are legends. But you can clearly also see the difference between these guys who are running full-time in high-level NASCAR and open wheel compared to the old guys. There's a clear difference. I don't think it's a mistake, and I don't mean to pick on him with this. It's just he's not to the level that a lot of these younger drivers are at. I think it's not really a mistake that Ken Schrader is running last most weeks. But yeah, I've liked each race so far this year. It sucks I won't be able to go to any this year. Just plans didn't fall the right way with that, but pretty fun, man. It's been pretty fun. Nap Racing Fan 927 says in the chat, Cup is on USA tomorrow, so NBC can show a replay of a MotoGP race and gymnastics. Seriously, NBC? I mean, I think the gymnastics part's probably tying into the Olympics. So Tyler McGonigal, thank you for the 5. Thoughts on how Hailie Deegan did in SRX, and does it show she would be better off somewhere other than trucks, or do you have a different opinion? I mean, she's flashed before, really, like had, flash in the pan runs before in SRX, but it really hasn't amounted to much. She might do better in trucks, but she's done outside of trucks, I should say, but she's done nothing to prove why she should be promoted in any way. Like, yeah, she ran 13th or whatever it was at Las Vegas last year. That's one race. Danica ran 4th at Las Vegas. We're not saying Danica was that good. She probably needed another year or so. Now, I'm not saying trucks is the right place, but she's shown no improvement. Like, even with as dumb as trucks can get, you see a lot of these young drivers show improvement. Raja Karuth, I think, is the best example. You can see the difference of a race car driver he's been from last year at this time to this year at this time. Looking back at Hailie Deegan, she's the same driver she was 3 years ago. I think she's a talented driver, but I don't think that she is Xfinity caliber yet. I would love for her to prove me wrong, because I think she's a great personality, and I would love her to succeed in the sport. I wish no one to fail in the sport, but I don't see it yet. But I've been proven wrong before. Speaking of the last little bit of racing, and then we'll head on out. And I'll answer a few other questions actually in here that you guys are putting in. Do you think Noah Gragson will get another Cup ride, or will he regress to Xfinity or trucks? Okay, here's the thing with Noah Gragson. I do think that what he did was stupid. I think he needs to, and then this goes to all drivers, honestly, anyone. Think of what you're putting on social media or liking or whatever. I did dumb shit at like 16, 17, 18. And thank God I had the wherewithal to delete my social medias from that. Because when you're a kid, you're an idiot. Now, he's a grown man. But on the other end of the stick, he should not be excommunicated from the sport because he did something stupid. Look at Kyle Larson, look at Corey LaJoie, look at a lot of drivers in NASCAR. A lot of people in NASCAR have done stupid things. I believe in second chances. So I think he should. I think he'll probably go back down to Xfinity. He was, he was not ready for this opportunity in Cup. He was not ready for a team that was on the fritz, that was completely flipping over everything from personnel to sponsors to everything like that. Maybe in a better opportunity, he would have performed better. I mean, we saw how well he did last year when he got a chance at Michigan. But I think he needs a reset. He needs a very big reset at that, both performance-wise, probably just get off social media for a bit. Social media is stupid enough as is. There's a reason that I really don't tweet anymore. I don't really go on Instagram much anymore. It's a cesspool trap. And whether you think what he did was, okay or not, I don't think that honestly is really the debate fan-wise. I think you just got to understand, like, if you showed a meme like that to your boss or a CEO of a company you work for, think would they be okay with that? And I'll think of the NASCAR side of that when he got millions of dollars, and it's just dumb. It's dumb, and it sucks to see, because I like Noah. I do. And this situation doesn't change. I like Noah. I've gotten to talk to Noah off screen a lot before. I think he's a good person. I think he just made a dumb decision. And I would urge anyone to don't defend stupid behavior, but at the same time, on the other hand, don't vilify and make someone a villain and want them kicked out of their livelihood because they did something dumb. That's kind of, I know it's a milquetoast fence sitter kind of take, but I think it's a logical take, personally. Yeah. I mean, Noah has a point. Darian's video is going to be really entertaining tomorrow. Which I believe he's going to post that right after we get done with the stream if we race. So get like a double whammy. Get a double whammy. Yeah, Irvin puts, I only post and like, let's see, I only post what I like and post pics I enjoy. Yeah, I just post stuff with the channel and about NASCAR. I used to post other stuff. I don't, I'll like occasionally tweet about the Cubs. But, for somebody whose job is on social media, I honestly don't like social media. I'm sorry. It's all gotten so dumb, so politicized, so everything wrong. People just need to stop taking stuff serious. That's where I'm getting it. But man, I'm gonna enjoy my night. I am. I'm gonna enjoy my night. I dug out my old Xbox 360. Got the original controller right here. Probably play a little Madden. I think I got Inside Line somewhere in my office, and I'll have my old koozie ready to go. Old Dale Jr. koozie that my grandpa, I think, gave to me. I think I was supposed to give this back, but I'll be up there in like 3 weeks. I'll give it back to him. But yeah, so I remember this. This was around when I was a kid. What do you think, Dale? Tyler McGonigal, thank you for the 5, man. My problem with that is he didn't show it to anyone. People who got offended brought it up and blew it out of proportion. I mean, again, it's still dumb. I'll play devil's advocate on this one for you. No matter what you think of it, either way, if you're a driver, if you're someone who has a personality, a brand on that's a public brand like that, get a burner account if you're really wanting to like edgy your stuff. Because I've seen people get upset for way less than this. Get a burner account. Like, I got one. I know a bunch of drivers have them. I know a bunch of former drivers who have burner accounts. Just get a burner account, even if it's just for chilling. Have your business account, have your burner. Have nothing to do with you. I get that, yeah, you didn't post it, but everything's public now. That's just the way that these dumb social media platforms have made it. Everything's public. Every like is public. There's literally stuff you check out now on certain social media stuff. Like, I can see what certain people who watch my videos will watch. Now, it's usually NASCAR stuff, but still, it's dumb, man. It's social media is dumb. This whole situation is dumb. And, yeah, that's why I'm taking a middle approach on it, but I think it's the reasonable one. But like I said, I'm going to enjoy a beer. I'm going to play some Xbox, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my night because I'm happy. I don't want to get unhappy. So let's just all have a good night. How about that? I'll see y'all tomorrow and all this week and pretty much every day at this point. I don't know when I'm not on here anymore, but I'll see you guys tomorrow. Y'all have a good night, and later.